hopefully you've had some time to make some drawings off the pictures that I sent you, and you got to see me do a couple quick sketches right here. Once you have a sketch that you want to make, let's say I want to make this one, you're gonna have to make a couple other decisions. First of all, how big do you want to make it? Like how large is this thing gonna be? If you have the cardboard, you could make this, bigger than your head. I know some people don't have tons of cardboard, so you can make it smaller if you want. The problem with making it too big is that you have a lot of cutting to do, and if we get into the coloring stages of this project, it takes a lot longer to color. It can still be really neat, but it might not. You might not be able to work that out with the amount of time you have. If you make it too small, some of these things that we're going to be cutting out, like the eyes or some of these little circles, they become very, very tiny. So, about the size of a normal piece of paper is usually a good size to work with. Now, all of that being said, we need to start collecting some things to figure out how we're going to make this. I'm going to move my drawing out of the way and show you some of the boxes that I'm going to use and some of the tools that I'm going to use. All right, so my kids like macaroni and cheese, so I have some of these boxes. We also have this, these things are called puppadums. They're like this cracker sort of stuff that we eat sometimes. And, I usually rip my boxes open. You can cut them, but sometimes when they're like this. So there you have a pretty good sized box to work with. And the nice thing about these boxes that use the thin cardboard is I can take a pair of scissors and I can cut this cardboard fairly easily. If you're using a thicker cardboard, like this other box that I have, like this one, this is a nice cardboard box, and the cardboard is a little bit thicker, but it's still not as thick as a normal cardboard box. So if I would want to use something like this, I can stretch this out, and I can still cut it pretty easily with just a pair of small scissors. If you decide to go on to using thicker cardboard, you might want to ask for some help. So if we were doing this at school, I would have brought along one of these utility knives, because it's got replaceable razor blades in it, and it's very sharp, and I can cut for you. If we were in school, that's usually how we would do it. You would draw what you wanted cut out on the cardboard, and if you couldn't cut out with scissors, you'd bring it to me and I would cut it out for you. Now, that can't happen right now, so if you have thicker cardboard and mom or dad or a big brother or big sister is willing, you could just draw it on the cardboard and they can cut it out for you. So you have to figure out whatever works the best. Now, for my design, I'm actually going to start and use this. It's not going to be huge, but I'm going to use this part of my macaroni and cheese box. So I got my box torn apart. I'm just going to use this. So I'm going to make mine kind of small. I'm going to cut up through here. Talked about Kimmy Cantrel's artwork that hopefully you've seen by now. Is pretty colorful. Another cool thing about using cardboard like this is on some sides of the cardboard, there's color. It's got some cool patterns and colors. We even got a spaghetti box here. It's got some color and pattern. It's got a little bit of clear stuff. So you might, and I might do this as I'm building mine, use some of those things to help you. Like, maybe that's an eyebrow, that little noodle. So you can use some of that so that later on when we do add color, you'll already have some of your coloring done. Okay, so I need to cut out the shape of my guy's head. I'm gonna roughly sketch it out here. It's gonna be the shape of my cardboard Kimmy Cantrel face. And on Google Classroom, I talked about how Kimmy Cantrel was kind of influenced by masks. And the same types of masks, interestingly enough, from Africa that influenced the work of Amedeo Modigliani that we talked about earlier this year in art class. Had the long noses, which you probably noticed in some of Cantrell's work. They have long noses. A lot of Cantrell's work, just like Modigliani's, they don't look that happy. They have very kind of almost blank expressions on their face most of the time. Just kind of strange. Okay, now the idea is that we're not just going to draw on the face. We're going to cut out nose, mouth, eyebrows, eyes, all that sort of stuff, and we're going to kind of create layers on the portrait. I'm going to start with the nose, and I actually want to make the nose an orange color like this, so I'm going to use this orange cardboard to help me. Like I said, it's tricky not having art class together, because when you guys are in art class with me, I know all the supplies we have. I don't know what supplies you have at home, so it's a little bit harder for me to plan these things. So if you can get color off of the cardboard, then we don't have to worry as much about what things you have to color this later on. You know, this, I don't want to flip it over on this side because this is a little bit too confusing. It's going to be hard to see the face. That's why the back, for your first layer, it's better just to have plain cardboard. So I'm going to cut over here. I'm going to use this as my nose, and my nose in my drawing I think was pretty long. So it's gonna be something like that. So I'm gonna cut it up here. I'm gonna make it a little bit thinner. Again, if I there, I've got a nose. Now I'm not gonna glue these things down right now, because when I'm designing my faces, when I do this, I don't glue things down right away. Because I wait until I have most of the components, most of the parts, and then I see how it looks. And then if I like the way it looks, then I'll glue it down. Okay, now we need some eyes. And you might not have the option to use color like I'm using color on mine. Kind of like that. And again, it is important so that when people see this, you want them to be able to tell it's a face. Sometimes I've had kids make these designs and they're real crazy looking. The color's cool, but the only problem is it's so crazy and there's so many different colors and so many things happening that that when people are done with it and you look at it, you can't actually tell it's a face. You know, so they'll put eyes down at the bottom and then they'll put their nose sideways, and when that happens, it doesn't look like a face anymore. You need a nose between eyes, and then you need a mouth down at the bottom. Now I think I do have some red right here. I don't think I have any other red boxes. So I'm going to try to use this red for my lips. Now, in my design, my eyes had like a color that was going to be around them. So I'm going to use some of this lighter blue. see the eyes are starting to come in. Do that again. And again, I'm not gluing this down for a couple reasons. One, because I want to make sure I have everything right where I want it. See, I'm still moving things around. Can change where the eyes go. You know, that looks a lot different than that. And this looks also a lot different, you know, so where you put these things does make a difference in how your mask looks. So I don't glue them down right away, which is good and bad. It's also bad because if I move this around too much, I could have a big mess. Okay, now, you might want to add other things. Kimmy Cantrel really liked eyebrows. So I think I said something about using that as an eyebrow, but this is, it's too small, but I might be able to use parts of it. And I've got some eyebrows. In my original drawing, I had little things sticking off the edge. So to do that, I'm going to use a long piece of paper, and I'm just going to cut the bumps out of the long edge, and then I'll try to glue it onto the back so that it will help create another layer. So this is way more than I had planned on having on this side, but I'll probably do maybe these 3 down here and cut it, and then a couple up here at the top. So I have to cut this a little bit. This is what I'll do. I'll do 2 down here. So those will get glued down there like that. And then I'll have 2 up here. I'll use just a little bit of glue up there like that. And maybe I'll put a couple over here. Like that. There we go, that's pretty cool. A couple other things about this. Once you have it all glued and it dries, sometimes it will kind of bend and curve. Once you've glued it, it's not a bad idea to put some weight on it to press it down so it stays flat. Another good thing to remember is I'm cutting these things out pretty small, and I'm good at cutting. You might want to go a little bit bigger than this. The other reason I'm making it this small is so that my camera right up here can film all this in one shot, because I've got a little special camera holder and it can't really go much higher than this. So I'm making it kind of small for the video also. You might want to make yours bigger than this. See, it's not like, it's just about the same size as my hand. You probably want yours to be like, again, like I said, the size of a piece of paper. Have fun with it, be creative. If you've got extra paper or extra cardboard, you know, you can make a bunch of these, and they're fun to make. See if you can get mom or dad to make them with you, and just enjoy making them. Once I get mine glued down, I think I'm going to add some color to this part of the mask. Kimmy Cantrel's usually had more color. If you don't have any cardboard that has color on it, you can cut out all the pieces and then color it, or you can color the pieces after you have them cut out and then glue them down. Sometimes that's a little bit easier too. If you want to use marker, that's fine. Crayon, colored pencil, you can use paint. Any of those things works. But yeah, have fun with it. Make some sketches like I showed at the beginning of the video. Base one of your designs off the sketches. Doesn't have to look exactly like it, but it gives you an idea as you're working. Helps you work a little bit better when you're cutting out cardboard. Have fun, and then either upload the picture to Google Classroom or email it to me when you're finished. All right, have fun.